My name is Deepak Chopra. Growing up, very early in my life, when I was about 6 years of age, my father was in England. I was living with my grandfather, and one day there was a telegram that came from England that said that my father had passed all his exams as a cardiologist. He was now a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians. My grandfather took me and my brother out, and we went to the carnival. We saw a movie. I remember the movie, Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. And that night, after all the festivities and celebrations, my grandfather suddenly died. And I was only 6 years old, but I started wondering about the mystery of our existence. Why do we exist? What is the meaning and purpose of our existence? What is the meaning of death? And so I would say that I had my first existential crisis at the age of 6, and it never left me. So that quest never ended. Started at the age of 6. It's going on right now. As a child, I was brought up with mythical stories of India's rich spiritual heritage, but also mythical stories from Greek mythology. We read a lot of literature, both Indian and mostly English literature. So at a certain time in my childhood, I could recite almost all the plays of Shakespeare. So that was the kind of education we got. I went to an Irish Christian Brothers missionary school, and our teachers were very strict. We were disciplined. We played sports. Cricket was my favorite sport, and I was both a leg spinner, bowler. And my father wanted me to go into medicine. I wanted to be a writer. So on my 14th birthday, he gave me a set of books where the protagonist in all the novels was a doctor, a physician. So in a way, I was kind of influenced to go to medical school and to write because of the books that I received. I had $8 when I left India, $100 given to me by an uncle in London, and that was $108, which I spent in one evening at the Moulin Rouge in Paris. And so when I arrived in New York, actually I had no money. I made a collect call. Those days there weren't any cell phones, to my hospital, and I called the administrator and I said, I don't have any money to come from JFK to New Jersey. And so they picked me up in a helicopter. Actually, my first experience of the United States was lifting off in a helicopter, looking through the window, seeing Manhattan, and I was totally dazzled by the experience. I'd never seen anything like this. And 20 minutes later, I was in a small place called Plainfield, New Jersey, getting my feet wet as an emergency room intern. After that, I became an instructor in medicine at Boston University Medical School. In 1993, I founded the Chopra Center for Wellbeing, along with a neurologist, Dr. David Simon, who's since passed on. He had a brain tumor, unfortunately. I have since then been invited by many businesses to represent them in a way that I can lend my name to them. And of course, I vet them and make sure that they're in alignment with my thinking and my goals. So whatever has happened as a business has happened very spontaneously. It wasn't part of the plan. In fact, nothing in my life has been a part of the plan. I came here as an immigrant at a time when actually the country was in great turmoil as it is now. So when I came to this country as an immigrant, as an intern, there was the Vietnam War. It was coming to an end, but there was a lot of turmoil. There was Watergate happening. There were riots in Boston around busing. There was a lot of racism, and the civil rights movement was recent. I've been through a period in this country when I first came, which was almost as turbulent as it is now. So I'm not a pessimist about how bad things seem to be at the moment. They are bad. We are in the midst of racism and bigotry and hatred and prejudice and all the things that basically feel wrong and is being used. The immigration experience is being used as a weapon to create more fear and as a weapon for power mongering, cronyism, influence peddling, corruption, and all of that. What I've learned is that in the absence of self-awareness, there will never be self-realization. And in the absence of self-realization, there will never be joy, happiness, loss of fear, and creativity and imagination and meaning and purpose. So the unexamined life is not worth living.